All right, so this morning, thanks for joining everybody. So this morning, I thought we would have a little talk about home warranties. So I do have a guest on here. I'll introduce her in a minute, from First American Home Warranty, and she can speak to this. But in my personal experience, I would say up until about maybe 2019, probably 80% or better of the purchase contracts we would write would have a home warranty in that. We'd ask, the seller to pay for a home warranty on the buyer's behalf. And I would say that was like 80% of the time up until maybe 4 years ago.
At least,
And
yeah.
as it became more and more of a seller's market and buyers couldn't get any concessions from the seller, I would say it went down to maybe 20%. And again, we'll have Joyce, the expert here, give her opinion on that in a second. But I feel like now we're having more concessions from sellers. So, we're able to get a lot of home warranties paid for by the sellers. So I figured we should have a home warranty expert speak at one of our meetings. So here she is today. So this is Joyce Reinhardt. She's with First American Home Warranty, which I've been using for many years. So Joyce, what do you think about what I just said? Do you feel like that's accurate or no?
You are pretty much right on the money. Everybody was ordering warranties till, like I said, 2019, 2020 was still a great year, but things really started to change. Like you said, with that seller's market, buyers could not ask for anything. And what we did as a company, and what we always did, but we just really made sure to let agents know, we've always offered sellers coverage, which is complimentary. And we just really tried to drive that home to these sellers that, look, this is going to benefit you too, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, not just the buyer. But by putting that warranty in place as soon as their property got listed, it protected them in case, let's say, their stove suddenly broke down the day before the closing, or, the refrigerator started leaking, and they're like, oh my gosh, now I got to buy a new refrigerator because they're not going to close if I don't have a working refrigerator. So the idea of having a warranty in place for a seller, and I use a bad example when I said refrigerator. Let me back up on that because we don't cover fridge for sellers. That was my old days too when we used to do that. But just the idea of having coverage if there's a plumbing claim or a hot water heater goes out, that seller is going to have protection if you put it on at listing time. And especially if that seller uses it, they're more than happy to offer that to the buyer if it's going to save them money on buying a new hot water heater, having to replace a stove, garbage disposal, any kind of a plumbing leak that is found during the home inspection. That has saved a lot of closings because, the buyer will call me, or the buyer's agent will call me and say, hey, we just found this during the home inspection. Will this be covered? And I said, well, do you have it in place now? Is the warranty in place during listing period? Yes. I said, then let's call it in and let's get it taken care of before the closing so that when the buyer does move in, everything is in good, safe working order. Because the way a warranty works is we are asking you, the agents, to be honest, the sellers to be honest, that everything is in good, safe working order at the time of coverage. And that's why it's important to put it on take care of it during the listing period. Now, that being said, I'm still amazed that agents don't put it on a listing because let's say you have it in place and then it does get negotiated out of the contract. Even if we have paid a claim on that home during listing period and it gets negotiated out and it never gets paid for, we don't come knocking on the door saying, hey, you owe us for that warranty or you owe us for that claim. I've been with the company 22 years. I'm in my 23rd year, and not once have we ever asked for anyone to pay for the warranty, even if they use it. The only time that could be different is during listing period, we offer an option called Seller's HVAC option. It is a $70 option. I highly recommend it, especially if you got a home with an older furnace. That $70 option still doesn't get paid for till closing. that option. You know, they've got it in place. The week before closing, they call you and say, my AC just went out. What am I going to do? No problem. We've got you covered with First American. Let's call the claim in. Let's get a contractor out to look at it. And we will provide up to $1,500 towards a repair or towards a replacement for that seller. We hope at that point that seller will pay for the warranty and provide it for the buyer. But let's say they don't. We may ask them to at least pay the $70 because we did provide that option to them, and we might want them to pay the $70. Again, it hasn't happened in my 23 years. Every year they say they may, you know, initiate that. So I just like to let you know that that could happen, that they would have to have the $70 paid. Without that option, I've seen closings blow up because a buyer says, well, no, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm not closing on this because you've got a broken AC now, and you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to get it fixed. So having that peace of mind for a seller is so important, and I think they're more encouraged then to buy it for the buyer because they're going to see the value of having it as well. We've got a whole new program we rolled out in September, and Rick, I used to always talk about the Eagle Premier plan. That was our top plan. It's $615 for that plan. And reason I always promoted that one, it included a first class upgrade. And that used to be the only upgrade that we had, was the first class upgrade. What that included was payment for code upgrades. If something had to be brought up to code during a claim, we paid $250 towards that upgrade. We also took care of permit fees. If we had to pull a permit, we paid for that fee if you had the upgrade. We covered hose bits. We covered faucets. We covered improper install. The haul-away fees are covered. You know, if we have to haul away an old HVAC unit or a hot water heater. So those are all costs that people didn't want to have to pay. So the first class upgrade helped tremendously. They still had limits, but they still covered a lot of those items. Now we've come out with a max plan that is $755, and it includes 3 upgrades. It includes the first class that I just talked about. Then it includes a plumbing plus that is going to cover more towards plumbing issues. But the plumbing plus is going to offer more towards like expansion tanks will then be covered on a hot water heater. They're going to cover up to $1,500 for concrete encased plumbing, where normally with our normal product it's just a $500 concrete encased. It's going to cover external pipe leaks up to $1,000. So that's the $755 includes that upgrade. Plus, it's going to include codes, mods, and more. Now it's going to take up to $2,500 for diagnosis, repair, replacement of any oil furnace, geothermal, or water source heat pump, glycol heated waters. And I'm trying to read this as I drive. But basically, your glycol or anything with water and heat and steam will be up to a $2,500 for diagnosis. We will now correct up to code violations up to $1,250 if you have that max plan. So I'm seeing more people, Rick. I guess, you know, it seemed high to me too. Like,
Joyce, we lost you.
luxury homes, another important issue, where you have luxury appliances like Wolf or Thermador or, you know, any of those high-end Viking. We have an appliance plus option now. It's a $100 option. That will take the coverage up for repair replacement on appliances like that up to $7,000. Right now we're at $3,500, which is what we've had for several years. We pay up to $3,500 on appliance, and that's per appliance, by the way. But if you get the appliance plus option for $100, now it takes up $7,000. So keep that in mind when you are listing a house or showing a buyer a house. Kind of pay attention to what those appliances are. And if they are the really high end, I would highly suggest looking at that appliance plus option because the coverage is really phenomenal on that. There's some warranty companies that only pay $1,000 towards appliances. So we've always been proud of our limits that we offer on that. Anybody have any questions on that part so far? I know it's kind of overwhelming when I'm on a Zoom call doing it and not sitting down side by side. And I do offer that to you, Rick, or any of you, you know, in the room or on Zoom. I am more than happy to sit down over a cup of coffee, over lunch, individually with any of you. I just won't be back until March the 1st. So we'll get together in March. I was here the whole month of January, and of course today I'm driving to Florida and I'm working remotely from there for the month. But when I get back, please let me know if I can sit down individually with you and go over warranty details. It's a little bit easier in person and to really help you understand, because I want you to understand how they work.
And guys,
There's a
Joyce
lot of
put
moving
her,
parts.
Joyce put her virtual business card link in the chat. So if you guys want to copy that, that'll link you to the PDF version of this brochure that we have here in person with all the warranty information as well as Joyce's contact info.
Yeah, something else, that link, if you'll all, when you open that link, you can save it right to your device, to your iPad or your, you know, your tablet, your phone. What's nice about it, if you do need to reach me, you just click on that button and you can call me, text me, email me. And there's also a place on there where you can watch a couple of videos. They're very short. It'll tell you how to set up your own account. You can go on and order online. And we have a wonderful marketing portal that these marketing pieces are complimentary and they're available to you. And they're customizable with your picture. You can put your team logo on there. And it's just a really valuable tool. I was telling Rick there's one on there called the Home Maintenance Guide. And we can send you hard copies of that. And I suggest that you order those. You can order up to 25 of them. To be RUSPA compliant, we'll give you 25. But every 30 days, you can reorder them and kind of stockpile so you'll have them for closing. It's going to be such a value to give to a buyer for closing tables, especially if they're a first-time home buyer. To have a little maintenance guide that's going to have your picture on it, your logo. They're going to keep it and they're going to refer to you. So it's a good tool.
Yeah, that's great. Joyce, do most people order the warranties through the site or do most people contact you to set that up?
You know what? I would say it's probably about 60-40. I still got 40% of people that just call me and say, hey, Joyce, I need to order warranty. Can you take it? Or I have some people that just have a text set up because they know what I need and they just send me the address. What I always am going to need, and you can look on the back of the brochure, the information that is asked for on the back of the brochure is always what I'm going to need. So address, most important thing, obviously, your email, your broker. Of course, I'll know that it's, you know, Keller Williams Capital Partners when it's 16. Definitely we want the closing date, the title company, so that I can get the invoice automatically directed to the title company when the order is done. So you can either do it yourself on your own online account. That way, if it's 3 in the morning, you wake up and go, oh my God, I forgot to order that. You can jump online and order it. Or you can text me anytime and I'm happy to jump on the phone with you and order it. Or just send me the information that I require, which is, like I said, on the back of the form. Just send me all that and say, Joyce, can you order this for me? And I'll take care of it. I want to make it easy for you.
Yeah, we appreciate having that as an option, Joyce.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind at all. There was a time when I could even place claims for you, but I can't do that now. So once you do have a closing, your buyer will receive in the mail within 10 days to 2 weeks. They'll actually get the contract mailed to them, and they're encouraged also to set up their homeowner account, and that way they can also jump online, place claims online, get important little information tidbits from us once they sign up. So we really do try to be very customer centric and make it easy for the customer to be in touch with us for claims, for follow up and all of that. But again, I'm here. If a claim goes upside down, and Rick, you and I both know they do.
Oh, yeah.
It's the nature of the business. So if you ever have that happen and you're like, wait a minute, okay, this isn't right, let me call my rep. Please reach out to me, and I have a service partner that I directly call and say, look up this claim, tell me what's going on, who's the contractor, how many days is the claim been going on, and then once she gets involved in it, she'll be the only person involved in it from there until it closes out. So it really gives your homeowner one person to talk to if something does go amiss. They're not calling back and having to tell the story 10 times over every time. So I love our sales support team.
Yeah, yes, it's nice to know there's a live person that handles that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's nice for me to have her too, because I also used to have to call into the company
Right.
as an employee, and I would get somebody different each time and say, okay, here we go again. So now I've got Julia, her name is Julia Brooks Sizemore, and she's my girl. And if you have an issue, I'll put you in touch with her, or I'll call her and have her call you, or call your homeowner. And sometimes, just so you know, and this is becoming more and more of an issue with privacy laws, a lot of times we can only speak to the homeowner. You guys may call me initially and say, hey, Joyce, my homeowner is having an issue. Can you help? I'll get Julia involved. And sometimes Julia then can only talk to the homeowner, and I can talk to you guys. It's one of those privacy issues that compliance makes us pay attention to. We all live in this, I don't know, legal world now that everyone wants to sue everybody. So we have to be careful who we talk to and who we give information to. Because a seller one time said, well, don't you tell the buyer that this is wrong. Like, well, no, wait a minute. We're not here to hide things, you know. So we just have to be real careful. You know how delicate these things can sometimes be.
Of course. Yep. Does anyone have questions for Joyce? Home warranty, general questions, or anything specific about the First American policy?
No?
Okay.
Not at this moment.
Well, Joyce, we really appreciate you taking time from your trip to Florida to get on here with us this morning.
Well, it wasn't one of my easier Zoom calls to do, and I'm sorry, because normally I would have more info and have things spread out and not be so convoluted here, but and the dog is in the back seat panting. There's Valerie. He gets to go too, and the dog will not sit down. He has been standing for like 3 hours this morning. He won't sit down. He's crazy. So I think we're gonna pull over and make him sit down on my lap or something and give him a break. Anyway, it was nice to be here, Rick. I thank you so much for the invite. And everyone, please know you can reach out. I am working in Florida, so don't worry about calling me and thinking I'm on vacation, because I'll be available to you, okay?
We appreciate that.
All right, take
Thanks
care,
for
everyone.
joining. Bye, Joyce.
Bye-bye.
All right, so is there anyone that has questions that they were afraid to ask Joyce about home warranties?
Well, I couldn't hear half of it. That's why I was like, I felt bad.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have her in
Yeah.
person, although I guess for the people on Zoom, it wouldn't have been much different, but yeah, I think certainly we're seeing a lot more home warranties now in purchase contracts, so I want to make sure. I kind of realized based on I was helping, I want to say maybe Haley a couple weeks ago put a purchase contract together, and she asked what home warranty she put in, I'm like, I hadn't even thought about a home warranty in like 3 years. So I was kind of caught off guard. I'm like, yeah, we need to work on that. So,
Plus, they are good on seller side too.
yes.
I had one, I didn't use Joyce, but I used another one. And the air condition came up on an inspection
Mm-hmm.
and then it got through. They had some questions on it, so making blah, blah, blah. We had to actually end up having to call somebody in to service it because another guy unplugged something that they shouldn't have unplugged, et cetera. But it cost my seller $75 to come out and look at it
Okay.
and everything was fine. Keeps the
Yeah.
deal going. The thing was on its last leg.
Yeah.
And so it saved them.
Yeah.
That.
No,
process. So
and-
it works out.
And the
on
nice thing about the
side,
seller
especially
coverage
old.
too is like a request to remedy list.
Mhm.
A lot of the things that are on request to remedy lists are covered items. So yeah, if the seller gets the coverage option, which I didn't even realize theirs is free. You can get the $70 upgrade, but
Yeah, it's
The-
really just like.
the basic one is free. Like there's literally no reason why a seller shouldn't do that. So, so that's great. Most home warranties charge like 100 to the seller up front, and, you know, that's still beneficial to get the coverage, but.
I just, in my experience, and I haven't looked at a lot of the different ones, just watch what the
Mhm.
limits are.
Yeah.
On what they'll replace and so forth. like
Yeah, so
that.
obviously,
Everyone's different.
you guys know there's 100 different home warranty companies out there. Certainly, I'm not steering you to First American. I just, that's who I'm familiar with, so I figured that would be a good starting point, but yeah, compare them, you know, you can get the equivalent brochure, from any home warranty company and just kind of compare them side by side. There's gonna be, different coverage limits, there's gonna be different, deductibles, you know, some are 75, some are 100. So just compare and, you know, you can always present your buyers and sellers with options.
Yeah.
But,
And don't underestimate, I know Joyce with other, she's good at going, I've heard, I've not had to do that, but she's good to go fight for your clients, you know, because you get involved in it at the end, when
yeah,
things have blown up and you have a person that can.
yeah, I think whatever home warranty company or companies you're going to use, I think the important thing is to have a Joyce at that company. They've all got a Joyce, not necessarily locally. I think having a local person is a benefit, but, whichever company you recommend to your clients, be sure that you have a contact person.
Yeah.
To deal with issues, because there always are issues at some point.
Well, and it's better than customer service rep number 22 today, and
Right.
customer service
Right.
rep number 43.
Right. If you gotta call a
tomorrow.
call center and get a different person each time, that's gonna be a headache for you and your client.
Well, if you've ever had to call a customer service or call center, you know that sometimes you get different answers.
Oh, yeah,
To the same
yeah.
question, depending on who answers the
Yeah.
call when you call,
yeah, exactly.
which may or may not be the right answer.
Right, right. All right, guys, so we'll move on. Quick, I wanted to cover a new process that we're gonna use in Command. So, you know, Sam and I are always kind of working on getting our systems and processes working as smoothly as possible. And in general, everything is, but you know, there's always room for improvement. So the one thing that I've been able to manage up to this point fairly well is knowing, you know, what you guys are putting in contract. Just because, you know, even though the team is growing, it's still a lot of newer agents, not doing a lot of business yet. And I'm helping on most of the transactions. So I'm involved in most of them still at this point, with the exception of yours, Nancy. But even some of yours. But, you know, as the team grows and as agents get more productive and some of the newer agents now maybe need my help less, you know, a year from now or whatever, I'm not always going to know what's going in contract. And I do have to get on there. I have to edit commissions. I have to do some other stuff for the office. And I want to make sure that I know at any given point what is going into contract right away. So there's actually a really easy way for us to do this, for you to do this. So basically, when you enter an opportunity in Command for a property that you've just put in contract.
And I'm gonna do it on the screen.
Yeah,
Well,
same old screen share while I talk about it, but
It's
very easy.
super easy.
So, you know, you go on there, you enter your opportunity, which maybe you've already previously done, but you do that. you put your documents in, so you've got this contract accepted, you're gonna enter your documents under the Documents tab. I'll let Sam catch up.
Okay.
So yes, you've put your documents in the Documents tab. Maybe you've submitted it to the office,
Or
maybe you
maybe
haven't. Because, you know, you may be waiting for an earnest money deposit to be made, which may not be made till after the home inspection. I don't want you to hold it up for that. I want you to do this process as soon as you go in contract. Of course, you're gonna go to the Offers and Commissions tab. You're gonna enter your offer. You know, the terms of your offer, just real basics, price, close date, that sort of thing. You're gonna click Accept on your offer. These are all things you've already been doing. So if you haven't seen this part yet, obviously Sam or I are gonna work with you to help you with this piece, but the new part is, as soon as you have this stuff in there, you're going to go up to the top right. You might have to
Oh,
move your
let me get my
pictures there.
mouse.
Sam's gotta move your thumbnail picture so you can see. But it's hiding up there in the top right. It's a little link called Discussions or Discussion. You're gonna click on that. There's going to be a box that pops up. You're gonna type in the words new contract. And then you're gonna use the @ symbol. And you're gonna tag both me and Sam. And then hit send, and now both of us have a notification that you've got a new contract in there that we need to look at. So that last piece is the only new part. Again, we kind of started at the beginning, but the discussions part is the only additional thing that we're asking you to do at this point.
Okay.
So pretty easy.
So we'll do this on, when we have, it goes into contract on the buy side or on the sell
Or,
side?
yes, and I didn't mention that, but yeah, thanks, Doug. So either this could be a listing of yours that goes in contract, or it could be a buyer that you put in contract.
So you only want them when, you only want notified when they're in contract.
Yes, so Sam and I talked about this the other day when we were working on this system. At first, I thought I'd also want it when you had a new listing.
Right.
The problem is, people don't necessarily put their listing docs in command right away. So for listings, I wanna make sure, you know, we're doing a graphic for our social media, so I think, we haven't really discussed a good system for that. Like, I know Nancy always lets me know when she has a listing, and then we can do a graphic.
Right.
That system's working okay so far. We may need to, you know, figure out something better for that down the road too, but. But yeah, the important thing is the timeliness for this. So, for a listing, if you're not putting your docs in command right away, I don't want to wait until you put the documents in command to know about your listing. So this may not be the best system for that, but,
But we still need tagged.
yeah,
We still
so,
need tagged.
yeah.
Well, you especially for your commission.
yeah, you know, we're always tweaking things. That's the nice thing about having these weekly meetings is we can cover little housekeeping stuff like this and,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, if you're also having like any trouble on like a specific part, that's why we also send a tag. If you're having like specific trouble, I text me too, cause it doesn't always notify me on my app when you tag me in command. But if you text me that you're having an issue on like one of the compliance documents and you've already tagged me, just text me too and I can help.
yeah, so you can use that mention for everything, like Sam said, but, any questions about that? Okay, okay. Last thing before we go around the room and around Zoom is, like that, yeah. The winter agent meetup. So we do quarterly meetups. We started this actually just last fall. But we want to do one kind of for every season. So last time we were at, where were we? Forbidden Root last time. We're gonna kind of mix up the location of these. I want to keep them fairly central. Our upcoming one's Polaris. I don't know if that counts as central, but for a lot of people that live in this end of town, I guess that's somewhat central. But, you know, we do have agents that kind of live all over the place. Chris is out in Newark. And we got, you know, you guys in Powell and people down the south side and whatnot. So we're gonna mix up the location, but the upcoming one is at Keystone Pub, which is at Polaris, near Polaris. Is that next to the movie theater?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
next to
It's
the
next
movie
to the
theater.
AMC on Polaris in the mall. It's right by the mall.
So, this will probably be a little more casual than the previous one because it is a pub. They have food, obviously, but bar food, whereas Forbidden Roots probably a little more, slightly more of a restaurant as opposed to a bar. But at each one of these are gonna be very casual, informal. They're not gonna be any kind of structured conversation, but we will go kind of around our table and we'll talk about our wins and goals and challenges. And, I always invite people like Aaron here, for example, who are not licensed, but taking the test soon. So, that's a good way for them to get to know our agents as well. And it's a good opportunity even for agents within our group who have never met each other, because that's a thing. You know, some people are never in the office, maybe you have a day job, so, you know, it's nice for people to meet each other within the group who've never met.
Yep.
So anyway, that is,
The 13th.
February 13th. Sam did a, event on our private Facebook group. So if you can RSVP through that, I know a few people already have, that way we have a head count for the event, and we'll make a reservation.
Mhm.
All right, guys, well, now we can, we kind of had to cut it short last week, because we were running long, but yeah, this time we have a little extra time, so we can go around the room and you can talk about any new listings and buyers. Why don't we start with our Zoom folks? Nancy, you're up there first, so you get to start. Yeah. I caught you
Okay,
off guard, didn't I?
yeah, you did. Well, I'm working on getting another listing. Well, I put 18 Santa Clara and Dayton for sale. I think most of you already saw that one. I am working on East listing. Should be coming up the following week. Well, let's say by the let me see, by the 2 Thursdays from now. It's what was it? It is a split level home, 1,164 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath. I am actually gonna finalize pictures next Saturday. And that one I haven't really, that one is in Qualston subdivision. We
That-
haven't finalized, huh?
That Reynoldsburg?
That one, no, that is in Columbus, 43232. And that one, we haven't finalized the price yet, but I'm thinking it might be about 225 to 230. Okay. Somewhere around there. And it's actually a cute home. It would be a great starter home for anyone or someone downsizing. I am going to be working, I have like 7 possible listings actually. So I got back in time for vacation. But let's see, one is gonna be up on the 43229 and on Sailing, that's gonna be a ranch. That one is 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths. It does have a full basement. And that should be coming up at the end of February. Okay. I do have one also on Fenton. Remember I spoke to you about that one? I don't know if you remember. So that one should be coming up here shortly as well. So anyway, I have a couple of listings. I have two buyers. One is looking pretty much anywhere. Max price is $250. If anyone has it, has anything going on that you might help me with, because it's a little complicated finding something right now within that, you know, 250 range. She is looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a basement if possible. She's interested in 43229, interested Lewis Center, 250. Not possible, I don't think. Reynoldsburg, she's okay with. Some areas in Columbus, but she's very, very picky. So if you have a listing that you might have in mind, please share. I also have a buyer that if they are pre-qualified. They can't buy anything more than 190, but they wanna in the east side. So just in case if you guys bump into something, please, I would appreciate it. They're looking for 3 bedrooms with the possibility of being able to make another bedroom, whether it is in the basement. But please keep that in mind for me, just in case. That's what I have.
That's great, Nancy.
Yes,
Welcome back until your next vacation, which is in April.
yes, April 18th.
Okay.
What?
Ready. All
Oh,
right.
Mark says it's April 6th.
Okay.
I don't even know when, but yeah, I'm going somewhere. We just had to renew my passport, so as long as I get that back in time, I should be fine.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Chris, you've been busy. What do you got?
Just went into contract on the 6 multifamily in the Hilltop. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you. Other than that, I work a part-time job at night, and I've had over the past week and a half, I've had like 3 people at that job come up to me and tell me that they're going to be looking to purchase a house in the spring and or summer. One of them is in the summer. So I got that going on. Just trying to let everybody know that I'm a real estate agent, and trying to get as much business as possible just through people that I know. But yeah, I'm excited that the weather is finally starting to warm up a little bit, and hopefully the inventory goes up and I can start holding some more open houses, because seems like everything right now is not really available to hold open houses. Or the list is pretty thin to do that. So, but yeah, other than that, just trying to stay busy as possible.
Great. Tim, how are you? Tim, you gotta unmute yourself. We'll skip you, Tim, but if you're available, come back on. All right, we'll go to the people here in the room. So Doug, we'll go clockwise. I'm sorry, I don't know why I skipped you, Sam.
No, you're
No.
fine. Don't.
No, we're gonna start with,
Why?
okay,
Well,
you'll
no,
be next then.
I can go first. Okay, so, I'm planning to reschedule another first-time homebuyers class. We're thinking about February, but I kind of want to do March. I know, like, my reason for February was tax refund money, but I think weather has been a big playing on it too, so I really just don't, because the first one I had, it was the day of that snowstorm, and so no one came, and I definitely think it was because of that. So I don't really want to risk that again. But so that I'm excited to do. I have an open house this weekend at one of the Evans Farms open houses, and it actually went like pretty well the first time. I was surprised at the price point, how many people I got in without agents. Because it was like almost $1 million listing and 2 people showed up without an agent, and I was like, weird, but I mean, good for me. So, I emailed them and was like, hey, you should come and see this house again, just in case. So I have that going on. My TikTok's blowing up. I'm getting like 1,000 views a post, and I've gotten like a bunch of comments from people being like, you can use me as, you can be my agent when you're ready. So that's finally, I think, working towards my favor, and I'm actually seeing people I don't know commenting around Columbus, whereas it just has been like all across the country. So I'm noticing that it's getting centralized a little bit more, and like my demographics are actually coming from Columbus now, so I
That's
think
great.
that's pretty cool. No actual current clients, but I feel like, I don't know, yeah, like,
You're right on the
You've got some
verge.
good, you've got
yeah,
some
no,
good
like,
energy,
I
good
feel
vibes.
like everything's like right on the verge of
Yeah.
like coming,
Yeah.
exactly, so I'm just like,
Put it all and it's gonna happen.
yeah, so, okay, your turn now.
Hey, I don't have that much.
How's
going on,
your
so-
TikTok going, Doug?
What was that?
How's your TikTok going?
Oh, yeah, great. Still working on figure out where it is located on the computer, so anyways. I just have one buyer right now, in limbo as they remove assets and stuff like that, so that it's always a work in progress, and every now and then we go out and see a house, and they're not ready to make an offer yet, so we'll see what happens there. Nothing else in the offer right at this point.
Did you send out your newsletters?
Not yet. I'm waiting, supposed to get that second flyer from, Scott
Okay,
to include in there,
nice.
so. But I have up until the 14th of this month to get it out, but hopefully sooner than later. He said he'd have it this week, so.
Nice.
Lori?
Yes, me, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not working, right? I was like looking at you. like,
I'll go last, I'll go last.
Okay, so I have the same buyer, that I mentioned last week that's looking for a condo. I have a new, listing. We're early in the listing process. They have a new build that'll be ready May, June timeframe will be conversation. I've got, in the next couple weeks, time scheduled to walk through their, current home. It's a condo in Powell. So that's moving forward, which is very exciting.
What's the size of that one? It's 3-bedroom.
I think it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Buckeye Valley.
Buckeye Valley Schools, they're in Powell. Powell address, Buckeye Valley Schools, school district. What else do we have going on? So in January, I don't know if I shared, I got my, seniors real estate specialist designation from NAR. So I've spent over the last week just some time trying to build up the referrals and vendors to kind of put myself as a subject matter expert, so that when I am in conversation, more and more I'm coming in conversation with people that have parents that they're making some decisions. Do they downsize? Do they sell and go into a retirement community? So being able to kind of engage early in those conversations with, resources and establish some value there, I think is a good benefit. So I have an appointment next week with SourcePoint. They have a couple of places in Delaware County, and they support Delaware County with a ton of resources, enrichment centers for people that are looking to, they need services or they may need resources for sort of elder care. What else? We just did our 3rd mailer in Worthington, so that area around.
That's a great area to farm.
Yep.
So we're farming with, I noticed it's bulk mail. Am I gonna have problems with that? Should I be doing first class on those flyers?
Why do you
Postcards.
why do you think it matters?
Bulk goes at the end of the list from the priority, from the delivery perspective, and I'm afraid they may not get delivered for some
I'm not sure,
reason.
I'm not sure, I don't know that end of it, so.
Yeah, it caught my eye when I saw how they were mailing them, and I thought,
Okay. Okay,
maybe we should
We
increase
can
the
talk to-
price
yeah,
up to a first class to
Yeah.
ensure that it gets in the mailbox, because if I'm thinking it gets there, it never does.
yeah, right,
Yes.
right,
Yep.
right.
That's not good, so, but yeah, we're doing about 400.
Yeah, 300-400. And this last one we did was around, like, are you looking to relocate? Are you looking to downsize? And then if I added in the senior real estate specialist designation under me, so. We'll see.
Nice.
Well, so Erin, I know you don't have any listings or buyers quite yet, so if I didn't introduce her yet, this is Erin Woods. So she is finished with her real estate classes, but waiting to take the test, so.
Exciting.
Yes.
Glad you're joining us on these, and I'm gonna help you do some studying after this,
Thanks.
so.
Yep.
So I'll go last real quick. I do still have the new build, new construction listing in the North Hilltop. 126 North Burgess, it's listed for 349.9. Yes, it's the North Hilltop. It's a beautiful home though, a really, really nice 2-story with each level has a 9-foot ceiling, even the basement level, which is finished. So it's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a very contemporary floor plan, nice finishes, a very well-built home, 2-car garage. So the same builder built 2 similar homes over on the east side in Driving Park. I have one of those in contract. The other one is possibly going to go in contract as soon as this week. But yeah, we still don't have anything on the Hilltop one, so.
Getting activity around the Hilltop?
Not a lot. I mean, everyone who's seen it really likes it.
Mhm.
but, you know,
Still
some,
possible.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
you know, some people don't wanna live in the hill, and it's, you know, a very nice area of the hilltop. The North Hilltop's gonna be where the bigger homes are, so,
And I met the neighbors, they're probably the best neighbors you can get in that area.
yeah.
Because they came through when I did the open house, and they're all very nice, and they have their own homeowners association down there. They're really active community down there, like they're trying to
That's
clean
nice.
up the place
That's
and like,
nice, yeah.
yeah, no, the next door neighbor right across the street is really lovely. She like runs everything, so it's on like probably the best street too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, I appreciate everyone joining today in person and on Zoom, and, hopefully the home warranties, talk was helpful.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so,
She has her business card in there if any of you wanna,
yeah,
Set up
so,
a
so if
meeting
you,
with her.
if you haven't already, just get the, information that she put in the chat. If we end this before you have a chance to get it, of course, this is recorded, this will be posted on our YouTube channel.
oh, also really fast, I wanna make a vendor list for the team, so if any of you have any specific vendors that you guys use that you wanna add, that you have like a personal relationship with, please give me their contact information, because I only have like her and, Rachel May and, Jackie and Scott with our lender partner, so
Yeah, so home warranty companies, lenders, title
title,
companies, you know,
photographers,
that's good,
your
yeah.
senior services,
Yeah.
we can add all of that. on
Anything
there.
related to our business, yeah, so we can actually talk about that too at the meeting.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, guys, well, thanks for joining, and, if I don't see you before next week, we'll see you same time, same place next Thursday.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Sam. Yeah.
The PowerPoint that you pulled up,
Mhm.
can you send?
Yeah,
out?
yeah, I just, it's on your business,
Yeah.
card. Let me download it.
She does both staging and photography?